What is up, guys? So in today's video, I'm gonna show you something really important. It's not the most sexy thing in the world. I'm gonna be showing you how to pick a brand name. You see, lots of drop shippers, e-com people, they really overlook this really important thing.
Oh, what have I done?
Picking a brand name. You see, if you look at most Shopify stores, especially if we go back a few years, when people were doing these general stores and you have weird names like Trending Tiger,
What?
or something just really dumb like that and silly, that used to work and that works really well. But fast forward to today, your brand name matters and your domain name matters. So I'm going to teach you right now how I would go and pick a brand name for whether it's a Shopify dropshipping store or it's for a brand. This is how I would pick a brand name. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so if you're picking a brand name, the first thing you're going to want to do, you're going to want to open up GoDaddy. You're going to be wanting to look at what you can actually purchase as a domain name. There's no point having the coolest name in the world if it's already taken or it's too expensive and out of your reach. So what I like to do first, I'll open up GoDaddy, and then what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to go over to Google. Okay, I'm going to go over to Google. I've already opened up a bunch of stuff here, and I'm going to search my niche and I'm going to search for my competitors. So for this case study and this program that I'm running here, we're going to be looking for a brand name for a coffee brand. Okay, not just any coffee brand, a coffee brand that is a cognitive enhancing coffee brand with mushrooms in it, which is a really hot new trend right now. So I would search mushroom coffee, and we'll look at this and we'll just see the shopping results are really good to start because it just tells you straight away the brand names. Okay, we have Four Sigmatic, we have we have what else do we have? Real Mushrooms, Genius Brand, Brilliant Brew. We have Rapid Fire. So what you want to do is you want to go through and you want to look at all the guys just crushing it in your niche and look at the commonalities between their brand names. So the best thing about branding and creating your own brand is you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can simply create something similar, okay? And thanks to the CHAT GPT revolution, it's become easier than ever. I used to spend days and days and days thinking of names, writing them down, and coming up with them, okay? And by the end of this video, I'm gonna show you the entire framework, not just for coming up with the name ideas, but for also checking the trademark, checking if you can actually use the name, and some of the best domain extensions that you might wanna use starting your brand or Shopify store. So go through this, start looking. I like I think is really cool. I think Four Sigmatic is really cool. You can go through and you can search, best mushroom coffee brands. And let's see here, 6 best mushroom coffee brands. Let's go ahead and let's look at this. Okay, top pick is Rise. So Rise is a really nice name. Gano One, that's kind of interesting. I like Rise. A play on words is always kind of cool. Mud Water, that's not really a coffee brand. Pure Shrooms, again, this one's really dope. Four Sigmatic, Grateful Earth, bit gay. So I like Rise. I think Rise is really cool, and that's kind of the name I'm looking at going for. So then what I'll do next, once you've done this, go through, look through the names, put them on the list, okay? Then we want to go over to Shopee stores, okay? Shopee stores, this is a database of all of the Shopify stores in the world, okay? So what you can do is you come in here and you're going to search, okay? You're going to search coffee, search your niche, search whatever you want to sell. And now we're going to see the biggest Shopify stores currently in this space. So we have Bulletproof, Black Rifle, Life Boost. So Life Boost is a really interesting one. I've already opened up these up here, so I'm just going to go through them with you really quickly, not to waste time. So what you want to do, go through this, look at the similarities, look at some names that stand out to you that you think I can create something really similar to this. I really like this name. This is how you generate your list of ideas. So you go through this. If I was looking for a name and I had no idea, I would go through all of this. I'd go through all the pages until you have enough ideas that you really like, okay? So I've done that already. I like Life Boost Coffee. I think something like this is cool for our Lion's Mane coffee brand we're going to be building. One thing about this case study that I'm doing is we're going to be using kind of an inferior product that's only really going to have lion's mane in it. It's not going to have some of these other trendy mushrooms that the other coffees have. So we really want to emphasize that lion's mane is a kind of better ingredient to have in coffee, and that ours is better because it has a higher level of lion's mane. So it's actually a better mushroom coffee product than the other ones that have 10 different mushrooms but very little of each. So I'm going to look for a name similar to that that features maybe the word lion or something similar to kind of emphasize our product. So Deathwish coffee is cool. This is cool. Rise, this guy is just dominating here. If we show you the SimilarWeb, look at this, 500,000 visitors a month. Rise, and you have another brand called Rise with an I. So you can always come up with a play on words. I always think that's a really cool way of coming up with a name. And once you do this, you're going to build your base list of names and ideas. Next, what you want to do is come over to CHAT GPT. So this has really revolutionized finding domain and brand names. It's really changed the game, makes it a lot easier. You can sit around all day, come up with names. So one name I came up with by myself was, what was it? It was coffeethatmakesyouSmart.com. That was an interesting name. Sometimes when you make a brand name, it doesn't have to be so brandy. You can literally just say what it is, and that can work really well. But what's bad about this is you don't want a brand name that's so long, because when it's so long, it can be hard to make it look good on packaging or design. It's very memorable, coffee that makes you smart, but it'll be hard to make that look good on packaging. So I like that name, but I'm going to move on. Here's how we do it in ChatGPT. You want to write something like this. I want 20 domain or brand name ideas for my new mushroom coffee brand. Some good ones I like are Rise.com, Lifeboost Coffee, and Four Sigmatic. Please come up with 20 similar sounding names, no longer than 2 words each. Instantly, it's going to generate all these names, okay? Shroom Boost, Myco Bliss is kind of cool. Vital Mocha, Fungi Fuel. I'm not in love with the word fungi. I don't think fungus has a great connotation as much as like mushroom does or myco. So Myco Magic, that's pretty interesting. I like that name, so I might save that one to my list. And now, here's the beauty of the tool. You can change it. You can feed it back and it will come up with better names. So look, please come up with more interesting one-word domain name ideas for our mushroom coffee. And then I emphasize more. Our mushroom coffee's main ingredient is lion's mane mushroom. Maybe you can come up with a cool play on words for that brand name idea and concept. Let's see. Raw brew. Lion's raw. That's an interesting one. I like the word raw. We could come up with raw coffee or something like that. Micro roast. So. Main magic. This one's really cool. So as you're doing this, jot them down, and then you can go over to GoDaddy and let's see if it's available. So main magic is taken. That's really annoying because I like that a lot. One thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to check that no other brand actually exists. So do this by opening it up and seeing if there's any website. If there's no website, it's still fair game. We can now search on Google to double check it. Main Magic. Okay, no. So there just seems to be like a hair product called Main Magic, but natural tonic for hair growth. Interesting. Maybe yeah, that's a bit weird to compete with that in a way. Like you don't want people finding a hair product really, but it's an interesting one for sure. We can go back and let's say the .com is taken. We can get a version of that. But first, let's go look through again. Lion's Cup, Coffee Main, Micro Lion, Main Mind. So I just keep feeding back and back to ChatGPT. Like, look, I would like a one-word brand name more similar to Rise.com. So I can be like, you know what? I'd rather have something like this. Please only show one-word domains. you have to kind of re-emphasize it to Chat GPT or it makes mistakes. They can also be a play on words. Instead of rise.com, they're using rise with a Z, right? We can do something similar. And here we go. LionX, Shroomy, Bruzy, Myco Max, Mushlow, Shrew. I'm not really loving any of these. So again, please come up with more. Imply its mood elevating and cognitive enhancing features. Here we go. Mindlift, Mood Vivo. There's a bunch of them here, okay? But I will just keep going through more and more. Please come up with more names like this. Uplift, we'll go through it again. And then you ask again. Please come up with one word names only. What do we have here? Magic, Clary Java, Zen Java. If you like the word Java, ask it to give you names with Java, okay? So you're going to do this, and you're going to go through this for as long as it takes until you find a cool sounding domain. So I've already done that, not just make this video so extremely long. The names I've come up with, I like mainmagic.co would be fine, as long as no one owns the .com. It's not an actual competing business. I also like raw, so we can have rawcoffee.com. We could try that. Not available. You could get raw.coffee, although I don't love that. We could do raw coffee. We have a look at the suggestions. It's always useful. Rawcoffee.co.uk if I was doing it in the UK. Raw coffee, rawbrew.com, something like that. Again, that's taken. Rawbrews.com is available. This is how I will settle on a brand name. You just keep going through it like this, and you will find a fantastic name. So finally, what I'm going to tell you before we end this video is you need to check if there's an existing trademark on this name before you go ahead and use it. So you do that by going to this website here. You go to Google and you search, that was one of the other names I think was quite cool, Cerebrew. Since this coffee, this lion's mane ingredient, it's really good for your mental focus. Cerebrew.com would be really cool. £2,000 though. Okay, pretty expensive. So maybe we'll end up going with a .co or something. But before you do that, you want to go over and check the trademark. Okay, so you can go to Google, search trademark search USA, click on the search trademark database. This is American trademarks. Okay, so if you're selling in another country, go search in that country's trademark database. So for example, I will search raw coffee, and we can see, look, dead. There's no raw coffee. So we're pretty much in the clear to run this. That is it. That is how simple it is to come up with a good domain name. But what I really want to emphasize in this video is this may not be the most interesting, fun thing in the world. Having a good one-word domain or two-word domain can completely change the course of your brand. People remember it more, they'll come back to it more. And when people see you have a really catchy one or two word domain or a one-word play on words domain, they think that you're a bigger brand than you actually might be, and that can help your conversion rate and your sales. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I will see you in the next one. So finally, if you're interested in learning my full brand building process by seeing me actually build a brand live in front of your eyes, I invite you to join the Brand Building Academy that we are rolling out right now. The only way to get access to it currently is by enrolling in our 3-day challenge. So if you click the link below in the description, you're going to be able to join our 3-day e-com challenge, and in the back of that you'll be able to apply to join our Brand Building Academy.